Hey guys, I am Carissa Hill and today I am going to be telling you a story about what held me back as a leader in my 11 years of business so far. So I started employing people at quite a young age. I employed my first staff member when I was 22 and I had no idea what the hell I was doing. My vision for how it was going to turn out was that this person was going to just be amazing, they're going to show up on time, they were going to do the work, they were going to be happy, I was going to pay them, and everything was going to go swimmingly. And it was like that for a little while until there were things happening like work started not really being done the way that I wanted it to. There was lots of, oh, I forgot to do that. There was lots of, oh, I didn't know I had to do that. There was lots of calling in sick or showing up late. And then there was also lies and theft. Then I hired my second employee and that was a little bit more challenging because I tried to be a really nice boss. I was like, you know what, you can go on Facebook, you can do this, you can do that. I don't mind as long as the work gets done. But then I got walked all over. When I did try and ask them to do things that I wanted to do, they would kind of make excuses or kind of manipulate it around that. And I felt almost scared of my own employees. And kind of trapped, like I didn't know what to do, because then if I fired them or let them go, I would feel like a bad person and I didn't want to upset anybody. And then I would have to go through finding someone new all over again, which felt like so much effort. And I kept repeating the same mistakes and the same patterns over and over again, trying to figure things out for myself. I went from being too nice to then trying to be quite strict to then trying to have things like checklists and instructions and things to make things easier for people, which still didn't really get done. I tried micromanaging, I tried giving them too much freedom, all of the things that you could possibly do as a boss. I did for about 3 or 4 years before I realized that being a boss wasn't actually serving me or my team, and instead I had to become a leader. Now, I'd never really heard this term before. The first time I did, I was 25, and I think I learned it in a book or a video or something that I watched. And I realized that the difference between a boss and a leader is quite significant. A boss will usually tell people what to do. They will expect things to be done. They just want to kind of give people money in exchange for work. They see themselves as above their employees, or that they own their employees. They don't want their employees to be friends with their clients or to connect with other businesses that are in the same industry. And they're very, very in their ego, very scarcity kind of minded. And that is exactly where I was when I first started out hiring people. And so once I realized this, I started really taking a look at myself, and I did realize that the issues that I was having with my team were caused by myself. I started to take full responsibility. Not necessarily if they did the job wrong, but I was still responsible for training or lack of training, relationship building with them, going over their job roles with them, tracking progress, having regular meetings, and I was doing none of that because, one, I didn't want to. I thought that it should just be able to work without me having to do that. Why can't people just do their job? Blame, 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 blame. And so when I finally decided to take responsibility about it, I didn't really know what I had to do, so I started learning. So I started reading some books, I started taking some courses, and I developed my own personal system and process for making sure that I was being the best possible leader that I could be. So some things that made the biggest difference for me was definitely, firstly, my way of thinking. I had to change from thinking about expecting people to do things to being grateful for them for what they were doing. I had to change from telling people what to do to asking them, hey, do you mind if you can please help me with this? Are you okay with this? I started really getting to know my team on a deeper level and finding out what they actually wanted in their personal lives as well as from their job. I started learning about psychology and human connection and human influence and what people actually wanted in life. I learned that when people act up at work, it's usually because they feel unfulfilled, unappreciated, uncared about, so why should they bother doing a good job? So I really tried to start putting in the effort and the systems and the processes to keep it consistent, which meant weekly meetings, monthly meetings, reviews, checking in with people, making sure they're okay, helping them to reach personal goals that they had in their lives through their job, and really making sure that the relationship between me and my team was exactly that, a good relationship. So if you are having any dramas with your team members, your employees right now, if you're having staff issues, as most people put it, the first thing that I would recommend to you is get out of your ego. It's hard when you're in it, but you have to put yourself into a place of love and gratitude and start to look at, well, look, I'm grateful for them for showing up. I'm grateful for everything that they have done and that they do. How can I be a more loving, understanding, grateful, empathetic person, not just a business owner, but a person? You need to have conversations with people, opening up and being real and telling people how you feel. That can be sometimes quite scary, but it really helps bonds between people. So if you have a realization that maybe I haven't been the best boss or the best leader lately, I would actually hold a meeting with your team where you tell them that. You tell them how you're feeling, and you tell them that you're going to try and improve, and that you want to improve because you want to improve the relationships and you want to improve the way that they feel about their job. And then you start holding regular meetings. You start reminding yourself frequently of all of the things that they do right, and that you start focusing on that kind of thing. If there's anyone on your team who just really shouldn't be on your team, you have to let them go. That's also your responsibility. Sometimes, like, a job should be beneficial for both parties. If someone isn't doing a good job or isn't enjoying their work, then they shouldn't work there. And if you don't enjoy having someone work for you and supporting your business, then they shouldn't work for you, right? So it does need to be mutually beneficial relationship. So I'd love to know your thoughts on this. If you are in a negative experience with team members right now, if you relate more to being a boss than being a leader, if you're currently working on it, if you need help or advice or suggestions with anything to do with this, I do actually have a PDF that I created earlier this year called the Millionaire Checklist, which is a long list of things that I believe have been responsible for me having to implement, having to master in order to finally build a 7-figure business. Lots of stuff in there to do with teams and leadership. So if you want a copy of that, we'll put the link in the description below for you to go and download, totally free. Just pop in your name and email and we'll send it straight to you. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments and you would like to share any stories or experiences, or if you'd like to know more on this topic, comment below and we'll make some more videos for you. And remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes.